I may have spoken too soon. We just did a video yesterday out of North Carolina where we proclaimed that this one guy who just got out of prison a week ago that went and killed two old white people, he was the face of criminal justice reform. That is part of the greatest lie of our generation, which is that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. And so I hadn't even had a chance to post that video yet. By posting it, I mean just kind of rendering it, getting ready to put it on Minds.com and Facebook and Twitter, when this one came by. And in its own way, even worse. It's a 14-year-old kid, one of the fellas, 14-year-old fella in Baltimore, who rapes an 83-year-old woman, kills her. During the course of the story, we learn about the fella in an offhand way that, wow, there was a big mistake 6 months ago. He was arrested for armed robbery 14 months ago. But somehow he was back out on the streets. Good Lord, don't these reporters read the same newspapers, see the same stories we see? They're everywhere. It is no mistake when you put a violent person back on the street. That's called criminal justice reform. Because we do not want to criminalize poverty. And so if somebody commits a crime, we're just going to let them back on the street. That's how we roll now. This is the result.
I am Jessica Cartalia. We are following breaking news in West Baltimore, where police have made an arrest a week after an 83-year-old woman was found brutally assaulted inside her apartment. Rick Ritter is live outside of City Police headquarters, where we just heard from City Police. Rick?
Well, Jess, this is beyond disturbing. Almost 70 years, 70, separate the victim and the suspect in this case. Police say it was 14-year-old Tyrone Harbin who raped and murdered 83-year-old Dorothy Mae Neal inside her own apartment.
Looking at 83-year-old Dorothy Mae Neal breaks your heart into pieces. The elderly woman assaulted and left to die in her own apartment, and now her alleged killer is behind bars.
It's sickening and it's sad.
Investigators say it was last week when neighbors at the Rosemont Garden Apartments were concerned after not seeing Neal for days. When police arrived, they found the 83-year-old inside her apartment, unresponsive, and the victim of an apparent assault. She died at the hospital hours later. Now, just days later, police announced an arrest in the case, delivering justice to friends and family of a woman known for her smile and big heart.
It's almost 70 years separate our victim and suspect in this case. The suspect in this case is 14 years old. Tyrone Harbin has been charged with first-degree murder, first-degree rape, various sex offenses. We were able to find physical evidence that linked him to the crime, and he has been charged with that crime.
And police say there was a major breakdown in the system yet again. Harbin was charged as an adult months ago for armed robbery, a case that was later dropped. He's now being charged with first-degree rape and murder.
There's a show on HBO I think it's HBO this summer. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not planning on seeing it. It's called The Rape of, I don't know, I forget her name, Trekkie or something like Treckle. It's a white guy who raped it's a group of white people who raped a black woman back in 1944. Doing some really quick math in my head, they had to go back 75 years for an example of white on black rape. The level of black crime and violence in this country is wildly out of proportion. We know that. But when you throw in the level of black sexual assault and rape on young people, old people, white people, gay people, straight people, yes, kitties, puppies, turtles, goldfish too, then it explodes. That's like the biggest taboo out there, I think. It's like if somebody comes in the public square and goes, and the level of black rape is so wildly off the charts. Why is that? And why is nobody talking about that? Why is that okay? And why is it when an old woman over the age of 70 is raped, it is an overwhelmingly black thing? Let me know if you find out. But in the meantime, don't make the black kids angry.